Good morning.
Working fun.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's good to see you all of you. And we're very blessed this morning to have our Nancy back.
Yay.
Doug with the message, Rick, and we're going to have special music by Joy on the big screen. So, take it away.
Good morning to everyone here. I am so glad you're here. And for those that are on the internet, thank you for joining in with us. I hope you can enjoy our service today, either live on Facebook or maybe later in the week also. Well, I've got to try it again. Please bear with me. Sometimes I like to start out a little light. Y'all know that by now. And I'm going to talk about that church just down the road, that same church down the road. And I hate to say it, the pastor's a little long-winded. I mean, he can just go on and on and on. Sometimes he doesn't know when the service should end. And even the parents know it, and the children even know it. Well, one day after a particularly long sermon, he walked out into the foyer and he saw Alex looking up at a plaque that was in the foyer. And he said, "Alex, what are you looking at?" And Alex said, "What is this?" And the pastor said, "Well, it's people who have died during service. You see the flags on either side." And Alex was real quiet. He said, "Well, was it the 9 o'clock or the 11 o'clock service?" It was a long service. Now is the time for our Bible verse, and sometimes I like to do a God inspiration. And I was struck by this. There was a man on an airplane, and you know how when you're on the airplane, he had a small child with him. A baby, matter of fact. And when you're on an airplane, you know how they give you seating instructions, and they say, you know, how to do the seat belt and so forth. And they say, well, if we get in trouble and the oxygen masks come down, be sure to put it on yourself first before you do someone else or a child. And he was struck. He said, why would I do that? And then he realized, not only with oxygen do we that, but we have to do that in life in general. We have to take care of ourselves. It's not being selfish or self-absorbed to take care of yourself. The only way you can help another is to be strong spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Now, this father realized that it wasn't being self-absorbed, it was an act of love. You know, you have to self-care to other care. I made my point. Now, if you'll recite with me our statement of being with feeling. God is all, both invisible and visible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect success. I am the individualized expression of God, and I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Joy is going to do our music now.
Hello, friends of Valley Church. Hi, everybody. I'm out of town right now, so Jan asked me to record a video for this service. Right now I am in Vermont singing with my 3 good friends, my singing friends, having a singing retreat. So while I'm there, I am here on video. I'm just going to improvise a little meditative song for you. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh, ooh, oh. Ooh, Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ah, May you have good health. May you have all the love you need. May you have security and shelter and happiness. Oh, Maria Who are we?
time for our healing meditation, and Joy's music has certainly helped set the mood for us. I invite you now to sort of forget your cares, your troubles, your worries. I'm going to lead off by telling you this little few words this past week. I sold a piece of, or I didn't sell, I gave away a piece of office furniture I'd had for years. I hadn't used it for years. But then as you give something away, you go, oh, what if I need it? I haven't used it in 20 years, but what if I need it? And then it reminded me of sometimes that's the way we are. We hold on to maybe the anger of the divorce, maybe what someone said to us years ago. We hold on to a hurt or disappointment in our lives, and maybe we hold on to it to help protect ourselves. What if I need it? If I let go of the anger, if I let go of the disappointment, I won't have that to block it anymore. I'll have to feel the feelings. I won't have a facade anymore, Father. And that's the way we come to God today. Without a facade. We open our hearts to forgiveness, to gratitude, to life experiences. We don't need to hold on to the old stuff anymore. Let it go. Release. We pray, still as a church family, we pray for Jeff's brother-in-law, Jan's brother-in-law. We pray for our Melanie. We pray with Nancy as she's going through something in her life. Father, we don't need to hold on to any of this anymore. We turn it over to you, the Creator, the I am that I am. The next 90 seconds, I invite you in your own manner, in your own inner voice, to go deeper in prayer with Mother, Father, God, beginning now. light, a feeling that shines within us. Thank you, Father. May we go with peace, peace that surpasses all understanding. I give you peace. And it is so. Amen. Now is our time in the service that we say our Lord's Prayer. If you say it aloud with me. Our Father, who is in heaven, your name is sacred, your kingdom is come, your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into terrorism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, the song, and praise. From our wages, throughout our wages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Well, I want you to know your story is not written yet. Everyone here, your story is not written yet. And I'm going to bring that out later in the service, but I'll start out with my story is not written yet. And I'll start out with something a little light, and then I want to move into David, 1 Samuel 16 and 17. I was about 19 or 20. My story was not written yet. I had a friend who was in the Coast Guard. And he said, he was based out of Wilmington, North Carolina. He said, Doug, let's go to Wrightsville Beach, which, as you know, is near Wilmington, and we'll surfboard. Well, since I was about 19 or 20, I thought, this is an excellent idea. I could be like a California surfman. Who wouldn't want to surf? So we went and he got a couple surfboards, and we got to Wrightsville Beach, and I looked down as far as I could see down the beach. There wasn't a soul there. And as far as I could look that way, there wasn't a soul there. That should have tipped me off, but it didn't. No one else sat there. So we went out into the water. You got to go out about 50 yards on your surfboard, trying to catch a few waves. Well, it was a very sunny day. No one else around. And I was out there, and he was 35, 40 feet away from me. I was trying to catch the waves, sort of sitting on the board. And I looked down and I saw a 6 or 7 foot black shadow come up underneath my board. And I thought, well, it's got to be a cloud, doesn't it? So I looked up, and of course there's no clouds. And I did what anybody would do at that point. I laid on the board and took 2 little fingers and did this. Anybody would do that. I thought, I got to get out of here. So I had my fingers doing this. And I got a little closer, and of course the waves, they took you in a little bit as you're going kind of slow. And I got about, 30 yards from shore, and a wave came and knocked me off the board. So I'm in the water with whatever that is. I was about this high up. And so I started walking, and nothing got me yet. So I thought, I'm just thinking of things. I must have just dreamt that. So I'm walking in, and it got to about waist high, and then I felt it, a nip on the back of my calf. Now, I never played professional football, nor did I run NCAA track. But that day, my knees came out of the water, and I was running. You've never seen anybody run so fast. And I got about 15 feet from the sand, and I just leapt. And I was on the sand, safe. Of course, the board's still out there in the water. And my friend said, aren't you going to get your board? I said, no, it can stay there. My story was not written yet. I'm still here. In 1 Samuel chapter 16, King Saul is in charge of was the king of the Israelites. Samuel comes up to King Saul and says, God is displeased with you. You have sinned against God. He's displeased with you. The Lord has told Samuel this. The Lord has also told Samuel, I want you to go to Bethlehem, to a man named Jesse. He's got 8 sons. And from there, I'll pick a new king. So Samuel, the prophet Samuel, went off and went to Bethlehem. And he took his ram's horn and had it filled with oils. And he went to Bethlehem and he met Jesse and said, well, introduce me to your sons. And the first son was Eliab, tall, striking, handsome. Samuel thought, that's the king right there. But no, God told him in his heart, no, that's not your king. You see, God doesn't look at the outer appearance, the breadth of a man, the personality of the man. He looks at your heart. No, that's not going to be your king. So brother after brother after brother was introduced to him. And none of them fit the bill. And finally, Samuel said, well, are there no more? He said, well, there's one. He's a shepherd boy, David. He said, well, call him down. When he did, the young man came in, 16, 17 years old. He was a shepherd. And Samuel realized that the Lord had told him on his heart that, yes, this is the one. So he anointed David to be a future king. We'll go forward with the story. Jesse comes to David and says, David, I want you to take some bread and cheese to your brothers. He's got 3 brothers fighting in the armies of Saul against the Philistines. Take some bread and cheese to your brother. Now, David, he could have said, Dad, I don't want to do that. Why would you make me do that? I'm taking care of the sheep. I'm going to be anointed as the king. Why would you ask me to take cheese and bread to my brothers? But he didn't say that. He didn't argue. He went. And as he got close, he left the bread and cheese with the man that was in charge of the provisions. And of course, he went up to the front lines. He wanted to see what the battle lines were. He went up there, and he was standing around. He was looking at what had happened over the last 40 days. The Philistines on the other side had a gentleman by the name of Goliath, 9 feet, 3 inches tall. Carried a spear with a 16-pound tip to it, like a bowling ball. And he would come down the hill every day and go, which one of y'all will fight me? If you beat me, we Philistines will be your slaves. If we beat you Israelites, you will be our slaves. Well, of course no one wanted to fight this man. It would be sure death. So David, he comes up to the battle lines, he's looking around, and he's going, what are y'all doing? And they say, well, he's been coming down for 40 days saying this to us. I noticed something here. You know, we get used to dysfunction so quickly and so easily. This whole army, the Israelite army, was in a dysfunctional state. They had forgotten that they were the children of God. They were the Israelites, the chosen ones. They were living in fear. In our families, we can do that too, can't we? We can live in dysfunction with fear or abuse or withholding love, or seeing the parents live each side of the house, not talking to each other, but staying together just for the kids. You know, we can get used to the dysfunction. You never see, hardly ever see, the parents holding hands or maybe sneaking a kiss on the cheek. How are the children supposed to learn about love? You know, we learn about dysfunction, don't we? Well, David said, why are y'all doing this? You're being so chicken-hearted. Why are y'all being like this? We're God-chosen people. Just at this moment, remember the older brother, Eliab, the handsome one? He came up to David and said, what are you talking about? How dare you come up here and talk like that? You've been taking care of sheep. How dare you talk like that? Listen to this. This negativity coming towards David, the one who's going to be king, whose story has not been written yet. I heard that negativity from the older brother, Eliab. And so I wanted to look up a little bit about negativity. And it said that 1 out of 300 people will say something negative to us or treat us negatively. So I wanted to read a little bit more about it. It said, we have 60 to 70 thoughts a day, and of those, 95% are reoccurring. And of those 95%, 80% are negative. And I thought, no wonder we're so hard on ourselves. No wonder we're so hard on ourselves. You know, we tell ourselves things like, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough to go back to school. Life's unfair. How could anybody love me? We tell ourselves too many negative things. You know, and it also made me think about Moses when he was leading the people out of Egypt. You know, I started to think, and I thought, well, how long were they actually in? How long were the Israelites actually under in slavery to the Egyptians? Well, it was 430 years. It's his father, and his father, and his grandfather, and the grandfather. You know what it is? It's 20 generations lived as slaves. 20 generations lived with negativity. No wonder Moses had a hard time leading these people. Not only did he have a hard time supplying the foods and waters, and it took a whole generation to die off before the people could actually realize that they were chosen by God, that they were God's people, living with negativity. Well, let's get back to David. So Eliab says to David, why are you here? And here's the David turns. He says a couple things. He says, why did you ask me that question? Now this might be the whole message today. This right here. Because I want to be able to do this. What did David do after that? What did David do after? He physically turned and faced other people. He let Eliab alone. Spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. He removed himself from the negativity. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. We need to finish the story about David and Goliath. You know, his story is not going to be complete, but we need to finish this particular story in the valley of Elah. If you look, it's a triangle valley, half-mile across, and it has a river bed running through the middle of it. And it fills up in the wintertime from the wintertime rains. But other than that, it's dry. And it has a small mountain on one side, not much of a mountain really. It's like a quarter of a mountain. And the same thing on the other side. The Philistines are on one side and the Israelites are on the other. And of course, no one's going to go down and fight that 9-foot 3-inch giant. But David, he goes up to King Saul and says, I can fight him. I can fight him. I've been taking care of the sheep. I've even killed a lion and a bear and a wolf. I can fight him. Well, Saul said, nobody else is coming forth. Sure, go ahead. And he lent him his armor. Well, David didn't want the armor. He couldn't move in the armor. So he flung the armor aside, went down the hill, Goliath coming down the hill. And all David has was a sling and a shepherd's staff. And Goliath yells out, what are you doing coming down here to beat me with a stick like a dog? Laughing, trying to humiliate him like he had done the Israelites for 40 days. Remember I told you that dry creek bed with all the stones? David picked up 5 stones. Now here's how you used to fight back in those days. They had infantry, then they had what they called armored infantry. Those are the ones that were wearing the armor, like Goliath had. And then you had sort of like a strike force. They did use bow and arrow, but what was really effective were slingers, slingshots. It's not the slingshot we know today. It was a piece of cloth or leather. It had 2 long braids to it. You could put your rock or projectile in there. You'd hold it, and you'd get the momentum up. You could get it going. You could get it going. They say if you were good, you could hit a bird in flight. They say when you let go of that rock or projectile, it could go faster than a Major League Baseball pitcher, 94 or 9 miles an hour or so. It's said that when you're doing this, that if you hit someone with that projectile, it's like getting hit with a .45 bullet. David came off that hill with just that slingshot, slinging. Goliath intimidating him, slinging, he let it go. And we know that story, don't we? We know that story. But that's not the end of the story. David goes on. David goes on. But we'll leave him right there for just a moment. Or we're going to leave him there for today. I was thinking about how your story has not been written yet. Your story, my story. And it led me to a lady by the name of Liberty Savard. She has a ministry in California. It's called the Savard Ministries. She was not my kind of religion. She says she was saved in 1972. Evidently, she had a troubled youth. She was involved, like in gangs and truancy and shoplifting and everything else. But she's turned her life around. She's written 10 books. And one of a funny thing happened to her. Her parents were having a 50th wedding anniversary. And she set the venue up in California. And she prayed and prayed and prayed. She said, I want people to see how much I've improved, how my life has changed. I want my parents' old friends to see who I am today. Being a little puffed up, won't you? I want them to see how my life has changed. So she got all gussied up, started heading out in the direction of the venue. And before she left the house, she thought, well, I'll spray my hair one more time with the hairspray. She put bug spray in her hair. So she had to go take another shower. She's running late now. But she took the shower, kind of hurriedly dressed again, out the door, got in her car. She's on the freeways in California, and her car's overheating. Oh, what a time for it to happen. It's happened before. She knows what's going on. It's the transmission fluid's a little low, so she has some with her at the car, because she's had to do it before. So she pours some transmission fluid in it. She's got some dirt on her. So she's going again, and she has to stop and do it again. She's late. So she pulls up like at the last moment. And she has her overnight bag with her. She says, I want to, at least I can pretty myself up a little bit before everyone else gets here. And she opens her bag, and her cold cream had exploded because of the heat. It's all over her toiletries and her hairbrush and everything. She can't use any of it. So she had to go to the venue just as she was. Oh, she had prayed so hard about it. But you know what the people saw and what the people took from that? Yeah, they saw a lady had changed. They saw a lady that handled that kind of happenstance with grace and dignity and poise. Yeah, they saw that lady had changed. Our story is not over. Your story is not over. I know we don't normally do this in our services, but if you would with me, I'd like you to say, I am a child of God. Can you say it out loud with me?
I
am a child of God. Again, I am a child of God. Don't worry about your neighbor. I am a child of God. Yeah. Your story's not over. Philippians 4:8. Think of these things. Think of what is good, pure, noble, and lovely. Your story is not over. Will you go with him with me? God, thank you. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, that our stories are not over, that we can go on and write more, that we are changing, Father, to what we were supposed to be all along. Thank you, Father, for this church, for the music we hear, for our leadership that we follow. Thank you, Father, for being in our lives and that we are children of God. Amen.
So I'm going to improvise another song for you. And who knows what it will be.
Have
when we get to give back what has been given to us. We get to give a portion back. We call it the blessings of the gifts. If you'll recite with me that which is on the TV screen. Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept His will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack of limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent, blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it working? I don't know what's going on. I can't talk as loud as Pam, but anyhow, I'll try. That was a great message, Doug. I needed that this morning, so thank you for that. So, now the flowers today are sponsored by Marita for her great grandson, I think it is. So they're beautiful flowers, so thank you for doing that. I always forget, take some names out of the prayer basket, people. There's lots in there. Everybody needs prayer, and lots of prayers going on. So we have a lot of people that are on the prayer list, and I think everybody in this congregation has got something going on. So we pray for everybody here. And anyhow, it's good to see people here today. A lot more people than have been coming, so it's great. Also, it's great to have Nancy back. Thank you for being back, and and Melanie and Wendy, because Wendy doesn't get to come very often because of work. So, and others that have been here, but these three have been gone for a while, so I'm really glad to see you back today. So that's it. We don't have very many announcements. We have journaling. We're doing journaling on Tuesday, and reading class on Wednesday, and our coffee on Wednesday. And is anything else going on this week with you? Okay. A couple of things. I hope everybody got their newsletter this past week or the week before. So thank Ann for doing such a wonderful job. She always does. And we'll be working on another one in a couple of months. But so anytime you have anything to go in the newsletter, please let Ann know, or any of the other board members, and we'll put it in there. So it's a way to keep everybody hopefully informed as to what's going on around the church. We're trying to, as I said before, our project this year is going to be to do something with this parking lot out here. So we're trying to get some bids on it. If anybody has a recommendation of a paving company, please let us know so we can get them out and give an estimate and see what we can come up with, and then we can start. Once we get a figure, we'll be able to see what we're going to do fundraiser-wise and raise some money for that. Other than that, one other thing I did want to mention, the board decided at the last board meeting we put up some security cameras around the church. So you'll be seeing signs that say "Smile, you're on camera." We just want people to know that they're out there, so you'll know. We've had some, over the past year, some things happen. People certainly have I don't know, thing about water hoses and the containers that they go on. So we've had several instances with those where they've either taken them or ripped them off the wall, and a few other things. So we decided to put up the cameras. So so just don't be alarmed when you see "Smile," because we're watching what's going on. So anyhow, does anybody else have anything? Marita, Doug, anybody? Okay, all right. Let's roll, as Pam says.
We close our service not with a benediction so much, but with a prayer. A prayer for our country. We've been doing this for 5-6 months now. And just take 90 seconds. Doesn't take long. But in your own way, in your own voice, I invite you to pray for our country right now. God bless America. Thank each of you for making an effort to be here today. Thank you. And thank y'all, those that have joined us on the internet. Thank you. Go in peace.